Science fiction on television has been dominated by Star Trek for decades. In much the same way people think of Star Wars when they think of space movies, everyone thinks Star Trek when anyone mentions galactic spanning sci-fi on TV. There have been so many Star Trek shows that when best space series lists are made, Trek tends to dominate them and push out other equally deserving but smaller entries.
You hit the wrong ship. It wasn't my fault.
But the Federation doesn't own all of known space. Most of the best space sci-fi shows have nothing to do with Star Trek at all, and you probably haven't heard of most of them. That's about to change. This is Giant Freakin' Robot, and these are the best space shows that aren't Star Trek. Stargate Universe was the Stargate franchise's attempt to make the leap into modern television storytelling with a linear series driving towards a definite destination and a complex mystery box of questions to be opened. It follows a group of human military men and scientists trapped aboard an ancient starship in a far-off galaxy with no way home. The cast is great, the ship is amazing, and the story's unique and interesting. The show was canceled after only 2 seasons, but by its second season, it really starts coming together.
Full, ready weapons, fire only on my command.
It's hard not to wonder how high up this list Stargate Universe might have been if it had gotten the time it deserved.
Let me know when we get there.
Now, just relax.
Making science fiction funny is a pretty difficult task, but you'd never know it from watching Red Dwarf.
Go to blue alert. What for? There's no one to alert. We're all here.
This iconic British series makes outer space hilarity seem easy. It's the story of Dave Lister, a low-level nothing aboard a massive mining ship called Red Dwarf. He gets shoved into stasis, and while he's sleeping, the entire crew gets killed. 3 million years later, Lister awakens to find himself alone in the universe. Alone except, of course, for a stylishly dressed man evolved from the ship's cat.
I hate to go all technical on you, but all hands on deck, swirly thing alert.
A smeghead hologram of one of his dead crewmates.
Mr. Rimmer, we are what we seem.
And an android with an ironing obsession.
Step up to red alert.
Sir, are you absolutely sure? It does mean changing the bulb.
Canceling Firefly is widely considered one of the biggest mistakes in the history of television. Had the Joss Whedon created series gotten the run it deserved, Firefly would have become the next big Star Trek-sized franchise. The small handful of episodes the show was given are so good that it still manages to make it onto this list. Firefly follows a ragtag group of smugglers aboard a Firefly-class cargo ship called Serenity, trying to make their way in a Wild West-styled universe.
I swear by my pretty floral bonnet, I will end you.
It takes a lot of cues from another great show called Farscape, which you may hear more about further on this list. It's carried by the dynamic crew and the unstoppable charisma of Nathan Fillion as the ship's Han Solo-like captain.
I aim to misbehave.
Watch every episode of it, and you too will aim to misbehave.
Fire now.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes began as a 10-novel series by Japanese author Yoshiki Tanaka, and went on to become one of the most influential and longest-running space operas in Japanese history. It's been adapted into animation several times, but the best version is the most recent version. It's fully titled as Legend of the Galactic Heroes de Neue These.
God bless you.
It tells the story of competing galactic empires through the lens of 2 strategic geniuses, one in each nation, as they each rise through the military ranks buoyed by their achievements. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is a complex mix of eye-popping large-scale space battles, political maneuvering, and personal relationships told over a series of decades, It's one of the biggest stories ever told, so big it's hard to imagine it being told in any form other than anime. The anime series is still in production, with 3 seasons completed and a 4th one expected soon. Maybe the Orville shouldn't be here since this isn't a Star Trek list. It's the most Star Trek show to hit television since the cancellation of Enterprise. And that's a vibe series creator Seth MacFarlane fostered on purpose.
What is that?
That is, Kermit the Frog.
Is it someone you know?
No, he's just a leader I admire.
It's not Star Trek though, so here it sits.
Feels like too many zippers.
Oh, no. Always go with one more zipper than you're comfortable with.
Oh.
It's about a crew of explorers wandering their way through the cosmos, encountering the wonders of the universe and challenging the human spirit. You know, exactly what Star Trek was back when they had the bald guy in charge of the ship. Back when it was still good. And it wasn't this. The Orville will scratch the Star Trek itch that hasn't been satisfied by Paramount's current Trek offerings. And sometimes, especially in season 1, it's also really funny.
Lieutenant Malloy taught me this song. I will now sing it. Oh! You will be silent!
Once upon a time, there was a boy named John.
Farscape does not ease viewers into the show's aesthetic. It's weird from the first episode, and it only gets weirder. But it's also one of the best things in the history of television. If you stick with it, you'll fall in love. Farscape was Guardians of the Galaxy before the Guardians of the Galaxy movies existed, and James Gunn has admitted the series was an inspiration for his Marvel films. That's why Farscape star Ben Browder shows up in them. It's about a ship, a living ship full of escaped prisoners on the run, and the one human who falls through a wormhole and ends up lost in space with them. It's heartbreaking and funny and romantic and terrifying and every other emotion you can imagine. It's also unique, absolutely unique. Nothing on this list or any other is quite like Farscape. The Expanse is the closest we've gotten to seeing real hard sci-fi realized in live action on screen. It's based on a series of books, which are worth reading, and set in a near future where humans have colonized Mars and other parts of the solar system. On the surface, it's about the big questions that surface when the unknown collides with human politics. It's been called Game of Thrones in space by some, and in certain ways that is accurate. But the heart of the show is a small crew who become friends and battle their way through disaster season after season, with no one to rely on but each other aboard their small ship. The Expanse covers a lot of ground, but always brings it back to the Rocinante. It's her crew that elevates the show to another level.
The future is all around us, waiting in moments of transition to be born in moments of revelation.
You can thank Babylon 5 for much of the best kinds of modern storytelling. The show was a trailblazer, one of the first ever series to come complete with a 5-season linear story arc and the first television series to use CGI on a large scale. The storylines are epic and huge. The characters are carefully developed and each has a complete and satisfying arc. The series is set primarily aboard a single space station, the last of the Babylon stations. It widens out its scope as the crew becomes embroiled in brutal galactic wars and tangled up chillingly familiar Earth politics. No one on Babylon 5 is exactly what they seem, and discovering who they really are is what makes this one of the best space-set sci-fi shows of all time.
Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? Who are you?
2004 Battlestar Galactica is a remake of a classic 70s science fiction series, but it's reboot creator Ronald D. Moore who made this version what it is. And what it is the best science fiction series ever produced.
So say we all.
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 Or at least the best one that isn't Star Trek. Oddly enough, Ron Moore also helped make Star Trek's best series, Deep Space Nine, serving as the show's co-executive producer. Basically, Ron Moore was always going to be at the top of this list one way or another. Battlestar Galactica works on every level. As an adventure series, it has the best special effects found in anything.
Fire.
It excels both big and small scale, doing it all better than most movies, despite operating on a fraction of the budget. As a piece of storytelling, it contains a deep and complex narrative, with compelling characters and a tightly constructed plot. It also works on a philosophical level, examining the nature of belief and the limits of the human spirit. Now 20 years old, Battlestar Galactica has grown richer and more poignant with time. While at first the show's unusual choice for an ending left fans conflicted, rewatching it now feels perfect, as if this was always the only way this journey could have ended. Watch Battlestar Galactica. Your life won't be complete until you do. What are some of your favorite non-Star Trek sci-fi shows? Any ones that we should check out? You've got to let us know in the comments.